Blessed be. Today is May 9th, and it is National Lost Sock Memorial Day, a holiday of unknown origins meant to memorialize our lost socks and acknowledge the poor, abandoned remaining sock. My sock preference is cat socks. That was my thing for the longest time, was a variety of cat socks. But in regards to today, it made me realize that I actually don't have any cat socks in my collection at this time. I have gone through and kind of cycled out recently just a bunch of old socks, and I bought a whole bunch of packages of new ones. And since this was it was more of a utilitarian purchase, I didn't diverge into any decorative socks. And I guess I need to go have a fun shopping trip and get a hold of a pair of cat sock or two. Especially now that summer's on its way, and I want to be able to wear the cat socks and sandals and look like a superstar. Today at work, I finished reviewing the workflow document my boss had presented to everybody and asked for feedback. And I've decided to use this opportunity for my group meeting tomorrow for us to discuss as a group how to be an effective reviewer for a peer review. This isn't a skill we are necessarily taught specifically, what it means to look over someone's document and provide feedback, to be comfortable providing feedback. This is your boss asking you to look at something, and by default, we don't necessarily want to point out their mistakes. So I want to facilitate our meeting tomorrow to get comfortable with the idea that it is important when asked to point out mistakes. Because if someone, myself, my boss, each other, if we're asking for a review, we want you to find them because we're so blinded to our own work. And it's the outside perspective we really need to see the things, to read the sentence. It makes sense in our head as we read it over and over, but it could be completely incorrect, which you won't notice, but you read it as an outsider, you're like, that doesn't make sense. And then you let them know. Because as the person who's asking for feedback, we are expecting you to find something wrong. And when you point it out, then we could get it corrected, because there's nothing worse than releasing, an email with incorrect information. Or, like with us doing stuff with all this CAD work, like if there's a problem with the template that we don't know about, maybe, in my process, I mentally just adapted to it. But different users aren't going to notice that adaptation and can get different results. So again, it's just something you just don't see. And as a teammate, I want you to feel comfortable telling me that you perceive an error in certain steps and processes and things like that. Because we can't correct things if we don't know they're wrong. And it's a two-way, this is an exercise that's two ways, Actually, three ways, because one, you've got to be a person who can ask for the review, to have the humility to know you may not have done it right the first time. So then it goes out, and then that person needs to be comfortable in finding things and pointing them out. But again, tastefully. You don't want to attack, the source and things like that. And then when they submit their feedback, there's that other step where you need to be able to receive that feedback. So maybe they didn't understand a couple of steps in the template, so either the steps need corrected or you need to clarify the intent of these steps. So it's definitely an interesting song and dance that I hope we can discuss as a group tomorrow to see if we can just kind of grow together a little bit as a team to be more comfortable asking for review, providing review, and accepting review. If you would like to hear more entries into the Cadwitch's Grimoire, don't forget to hit subscribe. And until next time, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.